Hello Bookish friends, welcome to another Books of Alfred Hitchcock project video. In this video I will talk about and compare three books that were adapted by Alfred Hitchcock, which are Dial M for Murder, a stage play by Frederick, Knott, adapted into a movie with the same title in 1954. Rear Window, a short story by Cornell Woolrich, adapted into another 1954 movie by Alfred Hitchcock. And lastly, To Catch a Thief by David Dodge, which was adapted into a 1955 American movie with the same title. I titled this video The Grace Kelly Collection because in all of the three movies, Grace Kelly was the leading lady in those Alfred Hitchcock movies. I will additionally give my thoughts about Grace Kelly's acting in all of the movies. The first work that I finished was the play that I was reading for Books of Alfred Hitchcock project, which was called Dial M for Murder by Frederick, Knott. This play was adapted into an Alfred Hitchcock movie with the same title, Dial M for Murder. In this play, a husband plans to kill his wife, both because she had cheated on him once and also because she's rich and the life insurance money would go directly to him as her beneficiary. But to kill her, he needs to have a plan for a perfect murder, and he is so sure of himself that he has devised the perfect plan. However, things go very different from what he has planned. I had previously seen the movie, and while I was reading this play, I remembered how much I liked the progression of the plot and how clever the mystery was presented. Overall, I really like this short play and gave Dial M for Murder by Frederick Knott an 8 out of 10. The Dial M for Murder is a 1954 American crime thriller directed by Alfred Hitchcock, of course. And the movie stars Ray Milland, Grace Kelly, Robert Cummings, Anthony Dawson, and John Williams. The screenplay was written by Frederick Knott, the author of the stage play that this movie was adapted from. This movie was originally intended to be shown in dual strip polarized 3D, but the film played in most theaters in ordinary 2D due to the loss of interest in the 3D process. But the film was shown in 3D in some UK cinemas during the summer of 2013 and in Italy at the beginning of the fall same year. This movie earned quite good reviews on the time of its release. The film was listed by American Film Institute in 2001 in 100 Years, 100 Thrills as number 48. And also in 2008 in American Film Institute's 10 Top 10 list as number 9 in Mysteries. This movie was very faithful to the play, and it also gave the gradually increasing suspense and the discomfort that the main character is feeling. I think all of the actors portrayed their roles really well, but I was especially impressed by John Williams as the detective and Grace Kelly as the intended victim. She quite naturally blended in the cast, and I was very glad that they didn't show the scandalous pasts of the characters. I think that would have lessened the effect of the great mystery that this plot is attempting to give. Overall, I really enjoyed this adaptation and gave it the same rating that I gave the stage play, which is 8 out of 10. And I think it is on the list of most impressive films directed by Alfred Hitchcock, in my opinion. Which was the short story Rear Window by Cornell Woolrich. I read this short story for the prompt of Parker Pine, And I also read this short story for my Books of Alfred Hitchcock project. This short story was also filmed as with the same title, The Rear Window, by Alfred Hitchcock. In this short story, Hal Jeffries is a man who is temporarily disabled. He then becomes obsessed with watching the lives of his urban neighbors. While watching the neighbors, he thinks that he has witnessed a domestic murder, a man murdering his sick wife. He calls the police. The police do actually find contrary evidence. However, Hal believes that he is still right and decides to solve the murder himself with the help of a young boy who is the assistant of the janitor. This was a reread for me. So I also read this short story for Remember December as well. I really liked how the story just focused on the mystery aspect of it. And it was impressive how the tempo and the suspense gradually increased as we come to the end of the short story. The writing style was really good. Additionally, I liked the small twist at the end. It was a very pleasant read for me, and I gave Rear Window by Cornell Woolrich an 8 out of 10. Rear Window is a 1954 American film directed by Alfred Hitchcock and written by John Michael Hayes, based on Cornell Woolrich 1942 short story. The film was released by Paramount Pictures and it stars James Stewart, Grace Kelly, Wendell Curry, Thelma Ritter, and Raymond Burr. It was first screened at 1954 Venice Film Festival. Rear Window is considered by many filmgoers, critics, and scholars to be one of Hitchcock's best, as well as one of the greatest films ever made. It received 4 Academy Award nominations, which are Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography in Color, and Best Sound Recording, but did not win any. And it was also ranked number 42 on American Film Institute's 100 Years, 100 Movies list, and number 48 on the 10th anniversary edition. This movie was also added to the United States National Film Registry in the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant in 1997. This movie is one of the most famous movies of Alfred Hitchcock. Although I rewatched all 3 of them, this movie was the one that I remembered the most, because at the time when I first saw it, it was the one that I liked the best, and it is still the same right now. The movie is quite faithful to the source story. Although the character portrayed by Grace Kelly was created for this movie, because she had other characters' lines directly from the short story, it did not change the flow of the plot. Also, some additional details about the other neighbors, which of course could not be given in a short story, added richness to the storytelling of the movie. I also really liked James Stewart. He's one of the actors that I find most successful in that time period. Grace Kelly, I think, was the most beautiful in this movie. However, her acting was, I think, better in Dial M for Murder. What made this movie so special was the cinematography. Way that Hitchcock used just a wall of an apartment using a stable camera, but telling so many stories without any talking was impressive. This added so much to the already really exciting story given in the short story. As you can guess, I liked the movie better than the short story and gave it 9 out of 10 for my IMDb rating. It is my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie that I rewatched so far. And I finished the book that I was reading for Books of Alfred Hitchcock project, which was To Catch a Thief by David Dodge. This book was adapted into the movie with the same title, To Catch a Thief. In this book, John Robbie who has been a legendary thief called Lechat, famous for being able to swipe anything and get away clean. But after World War II and fighting with the Nazis, he decides to retire and live a quiet life in France. But a series of robberies do occur in the country, who's mimicking the style of Lechat. John Robbie decides to catch the true thief, and in that process he meets a very mysterious young woman who decides to help him even though she knows he is a former thief. I found this book to be very entertaining and also quite fast-paced for its time. And I like the idea of a former thief being the most likely person to catch an existing thief. Also quite like the writing style. It was very easy to understand the book. I was not a big fan of the ending, but it actually makes sense when you think about it. To Catch a Thief is a 1955 American romantic thriller film directed by Alfred Hitchcock from a screenplay by John Michael Hayes based on the 1952 novel of the same name by David Dodge. The film stars Cary Grant, Grace Kelly, Jesse Royce Landis, John Williams, Charles Wennell, and Bridget Aubert. This film drew mixed reviews from critics, with some enjoying Grant and Kelly in the lead roles, as well as the French Riviera setting, while others expressed disappointment at the lack of suspense compared to earlier Hitchcock films. Robert Burks won the Academy Award for Best Cinematography, while Hal Pereira, Joseph Macmillan Johnson, Samuel Corner, and Arthur Krams were nominated for Best Art Direction, and Edith Heath was nominated for Best Costume Design. In 2002, American Film Institute included this film in the 100 Years, 100 Passions list as number 46. Among the three movies in this video, this movie was the one that I remembered the least. And I can see why. Because although the film is very aesthetically pleasing and it takes place in a gorgeous setting, it's a mediocre action movie. I think the appeal of a former thief catching a thief was lost in this very beautiful setting. And quite beautiful Grace Kelly again. Towards the end of the movie became less and less faithful to the book. And I have to say I didn't like that aspect of the movie. Although I really do like Cary Grant, I thought he was too old for this role because the original character in the book had so many action scenes which was shown in a minimal sense in this movie. So although I gave both of these works 7 out of 10, I thought the book was a bit better than the movie. The movie got the extra point because of the wonderful cinematography, which clearly deserved the Academy Award that the cinematographer got. So this was my comparison of 3 books adapted into Alfred Hitchcock movies and all starring Grace Kelly. My ranking of these 3 movies is quite definite. Rear Window was the best, and To Catch a Thief was not as good as the others. As regards to Grace Kelly's acting, I thought she was the best in Dial M for Murder. She was more beautiful in the other 2 movies, and especially glamorous in Rear Window. But in terms of complexity, her character in Dial M for Murder was the best, I think. Overall, all 3 of these movies are very good examples of 1950s Alfred Hitchcock movies. So please comment down below, have you read any of the books or watched the movies of these 3 books? And if you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. For Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose rear. Rear means arka in Turkish, and arka is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.